please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks to our witnesses today for your service. General Hawk, I want to start with you. Your predecessor, General Nakasone, was very vocal about the need for FISA reauthorization. And you've also talked about Section 702 and the role it has played, for example, in identifying fentanyl supplies from China. Often in FISA discussions, when we have them here, we have them in a classified setting, and that doesn't educate the public about how FISA is helpful, recognizing that we are unclassified. Can you talk about examples like identifying fentanyl supply chains and others where FISA 702 is extremely helpful?
Senator, thank you for the question. Section 702 is vital and it's indispensable. It is an authority that has been granted by Congress that allows us to collect on foreign intelligence targets outside of the United States. And so the example that we talk about from a fentanyl perspective is our ability to use that authority when a communication is transiting a U.S. Service provider that allows us to be very focused on that foreign intelligence target to bring back information. In this case, it allows us to connect dots from the precursors as they start in China and all the way through to the potential criminal organization within Mexico in this case, whereas most of that reporting. We have produced significant amounts of reporting that allow law enforcement to now look at that from a targeted perspective, leveraging the data we've created in foreign intelligence outside the United States to be able to then take action to limit risk to the American people.
General Hawk, I appreciate that answer. I'm glad we could have that in an open discussion. General Fenton, you closed your opening testimony very strong, and one of my colleagues said it was promoting joining the ranks, and I think that was the phrase you learned. We want people to join the ranks. It was superb. I've been running in recently as I travel across the Commonwealth with a phenomenon that troubles me a bit, and I've been raising it with key military leaders, and that's the phenomenon of a young person who really wants to join the military. And it might be special forces, it might be, any of the branches of the military. And they go far through the process and they're qualified, but then they get turned down toward the end of the process over a health issue that seems minor, childhood asthma or a history of allergies. Senator Cotton raised this point yesterday. I think Senator Mullen raised it as well. And my experience in talking to some of these folks is when they get turned down, it's just like a no with no real explanation and also no encouragement. Because when you say, when you say we need people to join the ranks of our military are uniformed service personnel and DOD civilians and Guard and reservists and our contracting community that provide the supplies and equipment that our military members need. If somebody gets turned down on a health issue that disqualifies them from serving in a particular service branch, but they want to serve the country, there's still ways for them to serve the country as a civilian or as a part of the one of our contractors. I have shipyards in Virginia that are desperate for workers. We've made a commitment to sell subs to the Australians in the 2030s. How are we going to meet our own needs, much less theirs? But what I find from a manpower standpoint is while we want to attract the best and the brightest, we often are turning people away who desperately want to serve the country without giving them the other paths where they can serve. This is not a critique of you. I'm just going off the closing argument that you made that was so powerful that we want people to join the ranks. I sometimes think we don't necessarily send that message. That the ranks include the broader ecosystem of those who serve and also those who support those who serve. And I'm just hoping that all of you might take that to heart as you're contemplating carrying out the important missions we entrust to you.
Senator, happy to comment. First, thank you for that. And I think it gets to the heart of why that was in our statement. It really is about service writ large. While in particular I can speak to service in the military, but you've laid it out. I also work alongside our incredible civilian teammates in the Department of Defense, incredible teammates across the whole of the interagency of the U.S. government, from intel agencies and great teammates in Commerce and Treasury, all fantastic, and I imagine having a very valuable journey in their own particular way. I think as well, we're out very often as Special Operations Command in the communities, seeing mayors, seeing school board teammates, seeing folks who volunteer even for, various clubs, and all to make the nation better. So it really is a call to all of that and more, Senator, and I appreciate you noting it. And we absolutely, I align myself with the way you laid it out. And we love to see more folks who would give us an opportunity to have their talents and skills, because it goes to the heart of really what we believe in SoCal. People are number one. It's all about the people.
Thank you, General. I appreciate that. And I have one more question for you, Secretary Mayor. During the posture hearings last year, you submitted written testimony talking about accelerating SOCOM's wide-ranging modernization efforts. Could you briefly describe how you are doing in the modernization side?
Yeah, Senator, so I think we're doing well. We have distinct advantages in the special operations enterprise, in particular at SOCOM, with an acquisition executive that sits there and is integrated with the operators. So we're able to modernize at a kind of local level. I think, as already addressed in the previous question about budget, that ends up becoming a pacing function. It's increasingly more expensive to do higher-end combat, higher-end preparation. So we're looking for where we can do more affordable modernization, and really, in many cases, building on what is already in the inventory and making it better. We call it soft peculiar. We rely on the services for the base and then modernize on top of it for the soft specific missions, sir. So I think we're moving in a good direction. Everybody wishes it went faster. The adversaries are going to require that we move faster, so we remain very focused on that, sir.
Thank you, Senator Kaine. Senator Round.